Today on Destination Polaris, we head to Nebraska to meet up with the Country Boys. Then we go for a ride in California with a very special group of guys. Destination Polaris starts right now.
Welcome to Destination Polaris. They call themselves the Country Boys, and you never know what these kids from Nebraska are up to.
Bobby wants us to fail. Oh, man.
Dude, it's 30 degrees out and you put your hand in water.
How's your face feel?
Meet the Country Boys. It's Dad Bob, sons Bobby and Matt, and their buddy, Fred.
Hey, we do got your parted.
All four work at a Polaris dealership in Seward, Nebraska, just outside of Lincoln.
This is Bob, how may I help you?
Bob runs the dealership, and he does his best to keep the boys in line.
It's really nice to be able to work with both my sons. It's real easy. I mean, it's just a lot of fun for all of us. Fred's been with us for a long time, and he's kind of like the third stepson, I guess you might say. There isn't another Fred.
The Nebraska Country Boys. That's what we are. We're the Country Boys, the Nebraska Country Boys. The. And I'm only the big corn-fed one. I got fed steak and potatoes my whole life, basically. So then I just became a big son of a gun. That's what I came out to be.
Fred, I met him in first grade. He was the first one to ever come and talk to me when I moved out of school. And like one of the first days he came over, it pretty much guaranteed us we were best friends forever. Because my brother, he used to pick on me sometimes. Well, Fred picked up and sat on him and said that's never gonna happen again. And we just became best friends ever since then.
All right, sounds like playing, sir.
The work here, it's a little bit easier than those chores on the ranch.
Get the little square bells, there's a horse on the outside, run up there. There's some colts on the other side, we need to get fed some grain. But make sure you check all the waters all the way around.
We get up, put our long johns on, and we go out and get her done and get back in the house as fast as we can. My long johns are making me sweat a little bit.
We're at Pleasantdale, Nebraska. Basically, it's a horse farm. We show horses and we rope, and this is kind of what it is. I normally have somewhere around 30 head of horses, and we have roping cattle, and that's our hobby. We like roping, and we use the Polaris for all sorts of things.
Did you just put your hands in it?
Just check and see if it's frozen or not, because there's a heater in there.
No, there's not. That's why we check to see if it's frozen.
Yeah, there is. There's a heater in there. Oh. Good God.
We always have some horses in runs and stalls, so we got to feed them, and obviously it's little square bells, and the Ranger makes that really handy and easy to use. We use it for everything. We all like the Ranger. That's obviously my favorite machine of all of them. That's predominantly the only thing I ever drive.
Say we're low on bales or something, we'll go get some square bales and we'll load them up in the back of the Ranger. Then we're not going to carry, 10 bales down by hands, a quarter of a mile.
The Ranger makes it a lot easier, 'cause sometimes we gotta travel a long ways to feed like hay bales, and so it's a lot easier just to throw them in the back and take off.
Shake it, shake it, shake it.
Feed the animals 1 minute, try to catch them the next. Just your average day on the ranch.
So it's normally me and Carlos. We'll see how they do, and if they can't catch them, we'll go walk down there.
Bobby doesn't have faith. He's never had faith.
The odds of them catching it is 1 in 1,000. But we'll find out.
I'm gonna fall. These boots here.
Basically, I've been around horses like my whole life, so it doesn't scare me at all. And Fred's not really used to that sometimes, so that's when I kind of just like, Fred, move aside, I got this.
He can't figure out how to put it on.
I missed. I missed.
What did you miss?
It fell out of my hand.
Sometimes we need a good laugh out on a farm, so entertainment money can't buy.
Those are like 2-year-old studs, so they're just a little skittish, haven't been worked with that much. Then I caught him and showed my brother up.
Come on.
He always thinks he's better than everybody else, and we always prove him wrong.
We didn't think they were going to catch him, but they actually caught him. So
Well, Matt caught him. I just helped.
Fred stood there and held him.
Matt was just getting impatient. Just give it to me. Just give it to me. Okay, can you just wait? No, no. Me and Matt 1, Bobby 0.
Okay, so the boys made it look easier than it was. They got lucky. Next up, let's see if they can hurt them.
We're doing this on pretty much 3-4 times a week. The Ranger will make it a smaller gap, and you can kind of use it as an alley, where we had the steers that we wanted out there run behind the Ranger, and the other ones we just funneled back. It's a lot more fun than walking. The less time it takes to get them in, the more time we have practicing. We need to separate the ones, leave the wraps in, and the other ones without the wraps, we'll kick them out.
Now that they've got their ranch work done, let's go have some fun. You're watching Destination Polaris.
Destination Polaris is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Think easier, think Progressive. And by Dragon Fire Racing. Feel the heat.
Welcome back to DP. The country boys can mix it up with the best of them. So guys, how about we have a little PG fun?
Feeling good.
You know those cows they just corralled? Now it's time for Country Boy versus Beast, round 1.
Okay, are we ready?
Did you get that on camera for that part?
The score so far, Steer 1, Country Boys 0.
You can't be afraid. I mean, if you're afraid, you go in there, you're gonna break your wrist, you're gonna hurt yourself.
That one, definitely gonna leave a mark.
It's fun. I've seen him do it.
It's an adrenaline rush, and then you can just have fun with everybody, get everybody else to laugh, and you're attempting at something that you're not really sure about, but you still do it anyways.
You guys doing this one?
Just grab it.
How about we head out to the back 40 now and let the lead fly?
We're gonna go trap shooting now.
The boys like to go out there and play and shoot some trap, and they do that, pretty much every weekend. And it's just a great place to set it up on the hill and let it shoot out. So put it together. And let the competition begin. Oh,
Oh, there's one. Right on.
Whack, 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 whack. How'd that work out for you? Paul? How do you like me now?
Bobby, don't let me down. Big knock.
One BB got it. Woo! One BB.
That's all it takes is
It's
one.
split it in half with one BB. Whack, 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 whack. Well, it's definitely not the guns. You about got her with the plug.
How did you hit a dove? You can't even hit a clay pigeon.
He talked it into giving up.
Trap shooting, I was absolutely terrible at. It's been like a year and a half. Bobby did it for like 3 days, like 2 weeks ago, just to practice for today.
Well, he's not very good at coon hunting either. I think his gun's messed up.
It's probably best that Fred doesn't get to have a gun. Probably a little safer as well. He can be the puller.
I did phenomenal. I did my job well. Perfect, actually. I'm a winner, always a winner. You gotta put it there nice and easy. It's kind of like baking a quiche. I'm serious. Ever baked a quiche?
That was all me. I shot so far. I shot so far ahead of you guys.
He shot that. He shot first. He shot first.
There is no doubt. Fred, the final shot, when it all came down to it, who won?
I'll give it to you, Papa Bear. I'll give it
There
to
ain't
you.
no gift.
Okay. You won fair and square.
Let's go rope. This is a rope and dummy. It's called the Time Machine, and the Ranger 900 works great for it. It handles it, it pulls it. It saves endless time on cattle, wear on cattle. The reason it's called the Time Machine is because they get in time. And along with the Polaris, because it has the power to do it, you can adjust the speed to the ropers. And a 1, and a 2. Clean run, just like that. This is how we learn and get confidence. Carlos goes to the head, makes a nice turn. There we go, clean run all the way through.
When you go faster. Go faster. Oh, Bobby missed. Can't win them all, can you, Bobby? How do you miss a dummy? You don't miss a dummy. Fred, I want to see you get off a horse moving.
We'll just let those two hash it out for a while. I'm sure they've got plenty to talk about. Coming up next, we head to Mammoth, California for a very special ride with some of our wounded vets. You're watching Destination Polaris.
Destination Polaris is brought to you by Super ATV, your trusted source for high-quality off-road parts and accessories.
Welcome back to Destination Polaris. You know, we owe a lot to people that serve our country, and there's one way to give back. Take them for a ride. Our friends at utvunderground.com and Mad Media did just that.
So we're in beautiful Mammoth Lakes, California, in the Sierra Mountains. We've got an awesome campsite here, and we're spending some time fishing and riding with the Warfighter crew. Earlier this year, our boys, Jeremy and Jason Merrill of UTV Wolfpack, connected with the Warfighter made guys, and they then connected Warfighter with Polaris. And Polaris reached out to us and was like, hey, why don't you guys do this cool project with Warfighter this year? You guys should go do something with them. It's not your typical, oh, go cover this race, or hey, we're gonna go to this event. It's like you're gonna go do something special with some wounded veterans who are a part of an organization who need to raise awareness to help these guys coming back from war with serious injuries, both mental and physical.
Warfighter as a group, to me, is now family. You know, we've known these guys for a couple of years. You look at the whole broad spectrum of things, and you see the other injured vets, and you just want to help. You want to help them out because they're over there and they're sacrificing for your freedom. Warfighter, in general, kind of pulls people back so that they can relate with each other, to bring people out recreationally and do the things that they used to, love to do, maybe as a child, maybe before, they got injured and stuff like that. And I think that's where this has kind of presented itself.
Brian, Butch, and I started Warfighter Made to help, to give back, to let injured warfighters who had lost something, let them know that it's not about what you lost, it's about what you have left. And I didn't think that it would morph into this. Recreational therapy is in our mission statement, but we always looked at it more like, hey, we're gonna get everybody involved to do this common build to modify and adapt and customize this injured warfighter's vehicle. That was our mentality. But then we got introduced into the off-road world by Adam Fitz at Dynamic Off-Road, and it just completely embraced us 100%. And we're home with these guys at UTV Wolfpack, and we're home with Bill Belansky and Kryptonite Industries, and all these guys that are just constantly stepping up to say, hey, we appreciate what you guys have done for us, and we want to know how we can help. And it's awesome.
I saw vehicles as a way to not even the tables, like we were talking about. When you get in a Polaris and I get in a Polaris, it doesn't really matter. The Razor 1000s that we received from Polaris allow us to show guys that, hey, come on out, check these vehicles out, and let us just show you a good time. And we really don't, I had no idea what we were getting into. I know it's pristine up here, but once again, it's just these guys get in the vehicles and I don't know what, and then you start seeing all this stuff and you're like, whoa. It's just having access to that type of equipment. And then these guys, we would love to be able to provide that kind of access. Getting in those cars is freedom. It allows you to do everything that, well, anybody else can do behind the wheel.
Stick around because these vets are about to cut loose. You're watching Destination Polaris.
Destination Polaris is brought to you by Brimstone Recreation Area, where the journey is your reward.
The Razors they're a lot more capable than I took them for. When you get on these trails and you see some of these rocks and you're like, oh, shit, I'm about to fill that one, and then you go over and it's like, oh, that wasn't that bad, that wasn't anything. Went right over it, or, it hugs the ground, when you're taking these tight turns, and it makes it simple.
It's amazing what those things can really take. I am so amazed that you can run over these rocks at 50 miles an hour and it just goes doo, 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 doo. And you're like, wait, nothing's broken? I'm still alive? I didn't flip, or, came around a corner on one time and didn't make it, and guess what? I was right through all these big bushes and it just, whoa, monstered right through it,
Real close so she looks massive.
Are you petting it away from yourself? How's that working?
I never imagined being 7,000 feet up a mountain that I would have had to either climb or, some other way to get up here that would have probably been pretty difficult. Versus, in the Razor, it's just hitting the gas pedal and you're there. So yeah, but for me coming up here, it was just more of an eye-opening kind of thing, that hey, this shit exists and it's only like 6 hours away from where I live. So what else is there?
consult a fish bite. It'd be a perfect day for fish bites. Recreational therapy plays a big role in my recovery. It focuses me in the gym, in the monotonous stuff that, you know, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. I always took that stuff and was like, I'm doing this so that I can get outside and I don't have to spend my entire time in the razor. I can get out and I can walk around. I can pull my prosthetics off and jump in the water.
Well, that's dangerous. Brian Meyer, yes. When I met Warfighter Made, they started inviting me, and not only did I like going places with them, being invited, but I like hanging out with them. And so to me, it was like, really helped me out. That's just a way to release and kind of come back down to where you need to be. And by doing that, you're breaking that cycle of just saying no, no, no. And so I think once they would come out by, you know, telling them, hey, do it, they would open them up to coming out again and again and again, and just finally saying, man, you were right. I just gotta go.
You know, 22 veterans committing suicide every day. If I can stop one person from doing that, to me, that's worth it. I mean, it really is. And that's what we're kind of going out and striving to do.
I may not have really understood the seriousness or the heaviness of the situation prior to coming here, but then after sitting around a campfire for a few nights and listening to their stories, you quickly realize that everything else that you go through in life is trivial, you know? UTV Underground's a platform for a lot of things. We haven't yet used it to really build awareness for something as important as this. So I think that's probably the most special part about this whole trip, is what we'll take away from it and do moving forward now.